So you're here watching this, you're a mountain biker, maybe, or you're gonna be one. One thing you should know, kind of like golf, kind of like a lot of activities, is there are a ton of upgrades. There are a ton of things that you can buy to make your ride better, make it look better. And that's important. You shouldn't forget about looks. I mean, some people, it's a bike. You ride it and you express yourself by your riding. Other people, you look at your bike. It makes you want to ride. It's an expression of you, how it looks. It's also an indication to other people, maybe you're more serious, or maybe you ride with a crowd that cares about those things, and maybe you do too. And I'm not here to judge you. I care a little bit about looks too. I mean, most of us do to a certain extent. I mean, some people go a little crazy, and today I think I might be touching on a little crazy. So as you know, I've gone through several different cranks and chain rings, and I started off with this, and there's nothing wrong with this. GX looks pretty good, right? It's lightweight, does what you need it to. It makes the bike move. One of the things that I didn't like about this was the length. This was 170. I want to try something a little bit smaller because maybe 170 wasn't right for me. So I got a Goldix. What? Yeah, you heard me, Goldix. I just had no luck finding like name brands. I didn't have any luck finding SRAMs and 160s, even 165s. I just couldn't find them anywhere. So I went on AliExpress and I found this brand called Goldix. And it looked fine. You know, it came with the bottom bracket. It was super cheap. I think it was like 49 bucks for the crank set, the chain ring, and a bottom bracket, which is like a hell of a deal. And the point of buying that was, it wasn't gonna be my forever crank set. This was gonna be, hey, let me try a shorter length in a relatively inexpensive way. And you know what? It worked. I actually still have them on the bike. And you know, I like the 160. I like it a lot better than 170. I think it suits me a little bit better. So it's time for an upgrade. And as you know, I went back to AliExpress and I found my FauxDev. And hold on, let me show you. So here it is. Here's the FauxDev. Looks sweet, right? I mean, it's got that look. It looks just like a 5Dev, but it's a FauxDev. And it's just not the same thing, okay? So in order to compare the FauxDev to the 5Dev, we needed the real thing. And here it is. It's pretty sweet. I'm not gonna lie, this thing is sweet. Take a look. Comes with everything you need. And in the box, it's pretty basic, right? There's not a whole lot going on in the box, but that's fine because they look sweet. I mean, look at that. This is the kind of bling that you want. They used to have like a shiny kind. You know, I went with the brush. I like the brush because the shiny stuff was just wearing off anyway. And I think the brush looks pretty sweet. I mean, that is just sweet. So with FauxDev, you're getting a CNC created crank, right? It has some special things about it. Obviously the cutouts, it's pretty blingy. Now FauxDev offers a ton of different lengths on these. I mean, you can get, I think 180 down to like 145, 150, but just varying lengths every 5 millimeters. And they have them all. They're all in stock. You can get them anywhere. You can get them from FauxDev. You can get them from a whole bunch of online retailers. You probably get them from your local bike shop if it's decent sized. Now the thing about these is that, yeah, they look sweet. Made in USA, which is, you know, that's nice too. I mean, because, you know, I live in USA and we like to have some manufacturing here. Call me crazy. Anyway, you pay for these. You pay for having them made in the USA, and you paid for them being CNC milled, and you pay for the R&D. You pay for that with, you know, around 400 bucks. With, you know, if you get a sale, 400 to 500 bucks. They are not cheap, but they look pretty damn sweet. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of feel like it was worth it. I mean, just the bling. It just is. I like it. It's gonna look pretty damn good on the bike. I think it's gonna look better than the Goldix, but we're gonna find out. Now these did come with a chainring, which is pretty nice. Nice sweet little blue. How many teeth we got on here? We got a 32 tooth, and it's pretty nice. Not gonna lie. I mean, I like it. If I was going to use a round one, 32 tooth, I'd go with this. Anyway, it's pretty sweet, but it's not going on because I have a wolf tooth oval, you know, an elliptical already on the Goldix. So I'm going to take off and I'm going to put on these, and that's how we're going to ride it. So first up, we got to remove the Goldix. We might not be saying goodbye to them. We might just be saying, see you later for now. So here we are, Goldix. I mean, they're not bad. They're pretty good. And for what I needed them for, they were perfect. You know, for testing the length and also testing the elliptical oval chainring, it was great. You know, there's one thing that annoyed me was that it wouldn't take the tool that went in there. Let me show you. So we got our nice little crank tool here, and it won't fit. Well, it won't fit. That kind of annoyed me. The FauxDev's not going to fit either. That kind of annoys me too. Now, before we take off the cranks, one thing we have to do is take off the pedals. Don't make a new mistake and take off your crank arms and then try to move the pedals, because it's probably not going to work out so well. So remember, for tightening pedals, you tighten them toward your front wheel. For removing them, you go the opposite direction, and that'll get them done. It's also easier to do this when it's not on a bike stand. There we go. All right, I did grease it. Nice. Speaking of bling, yes, these are titanium because, well, why the hell not? Also, I have to admit that these are a little bit more than bling because they are pretty damn light. I mean, crazy light. Let's see just how light these are. Here we go. 185 grams. Wow, that is crazy light. Also, the gold. That's pretty nice, right? All right, we got the pedals off. Let's get this sucker back up on the stand. Here we go. Now we're going to take off the crank arm. One side at a time. And we put on the glove. Let's get this chain off of there. There we go. Get out the persuader. I'll just loosen that up. And here we go. We have the Goldix. It's off. And the Goldix is a lot like some of the other cranks you're used to. So it comes with the spindle right on there. It's attached. So it's just built in. Now the FauxDev, you gotta screw in each side, which, I mean, it is what it is. I prefer this, but you know. All right, so we gotta get off the chainring now. The chainring, interesting, everything else uses an Allen key. The chainring actually uses Torx bit. I mean, that's good. It stays on nice and tight that way. What do I mean by Torx? I mean that. Can you see that? And there we go. It's off. Goldix. Let's get one last look on the Goldix. I'm gonna miss you, buddy. Now the FauxDev kit comes with some bolts for the chainring. I'm not gonna use that. I'm gonna use the one that came with the wolf tooth. They're pretty strong, and I just feel more comfortable doing that. No reason, it's just me. If you're wondering how you get this thing on here, the bolt is already in here. You're just gonna tighten it up. See, it uses an 8mm, so it uses a pedal wrench, which is good, because I just happen to have one handy. It is pre-greased, which is nice, and it looks like they did a really good job greasing it, so we're gonna run with that. Pop that guy in there. And then we're gonna start. It will stop when it's ready to stop. All right, it's pretty good. We got that on there pretty well. We'll tighten it up a little bit more once we get it on the bike. Does that work? No, man. The Goldix bottom bracket does not work. That's all right, I have another. So now a bottom bracket will tell you which way to tighten it. So obviously the opposite way is how you loosen it. Anyway, if you look, I'm turning toward the front wheel, which is opposite of what you do with a pedal. Here we go. I got the other one going off on the other side. Now this is the bottom bracket that came with the Goldix. It's not bad. I mean, take a look. You know, for $39 for a crankset and a bottom bracket, it's pretty damn good. But we're going back to dub. Now, bike parts don't really come with instructions anymore, but they do still label things pretty well. You can see right here, we got the right side bottom bracket. You can see the arrow. That is the direction that you turn to tighten it. Makes sense, right? So we got a dry fit going on here. What I'm doing now is I'm checking to make sure that our chain ring doesn't hit the chainstay, and you got to remember where your chain's going to be too, but you also have to look at your crank arm. And I can see that this is really close. I'm talking within like 2-3 millimeters close. So I'm going to need a spacer on here. All right, we're all spaced. Look at that. There we go. Got enough clearance there. I don't feel so crazy about that. Now we got to get the other side on. Easy peasy. Be back in a flash. Well, we're back. And when we last met, last night, I was getting the bottom bracket on and putting the crankset back together. So I get the crankset back together and I'm testing it, make sure everything works before I show you guys. Otherwise it's embarrassing, right? So I put it together and then tightening it up, and I noticed that, wow, this thing is not turning. Did I put it on too tight? Yeah, maybe. Back it up, works fine. Tighten it up again, nope. Mess with the spacers, nope. Look up the spacer arrangement, everything's right. So what's going on? So I take off the left side bottom bracket and I'm trying to turn the bearings right here. So you can see that right in there. So this is what moves inside the bottom bracket. So that's what your crank shaft is moving on. Okay, this has a rubber washer on it, a gasket. So if this thing just wasn't moving. So I get some trusty tweezers and I pop off this gasket here, and then all of a sudden it's moving. What the hell? So the wiper seal was being pushed into the bearings, keeping it from moving. So I'm going to sort that out, get the cranks back on, and I'll be right back with you. Well, I finally got it on, and let me tell you, working on your bike is sometimes just an exercise in frustration. This is one of those times. Anyway, got it on there. It looks pretty sweet. It turns like a crank, but it looks good. And ultimately, that's what this is about. This beautiful crankset and these titanium pedals, they're kind of about the bling. It's a little bougie, but I'm okay with that because, I work hard. I deserve nice things. I mean, sometimes you should feel that way too, right? Anyway, gonna take it outside, clean it up, put it in the sun, and get some glamour shots. Well, mission accomplished. There we go. We got the FauxDev on there. We got the oval chain ring. We got the titanium pedals. We are about as bougie as we can get. And you know what? I'm pretty damn happy about that. Now I'm going to go out there and ride the heck out of it. See you out on the trails. All right, guys. If you like this content, like and subscribe. Thank you.